How's it going? In this video I'm going to be diagnosing some electrical issues on the 1980 Chevette. It's got a 1.6 liter engine, and the headlights aren't turning on again. They used to, they were working fine, and they stopped working. So the headlights and the signal lights. The rear lights turn on though. So here's the button for the headlights. You pull this button back and that turns this light on as well as that light on. And as you can see, when I turn the knob, the light over there turns on for the high beams. You can see. And you can also see high beams here. Now, I think that the problem is in this signal cam. And as you can see, when I make a left, I push it down to make a left turn, nothing turns on over there, and that light should be turning on right there. That's the signal light, that one on the left there, and it used to turn on. So I think the problem is in here, and one way you can kind of troubleshoot this, but sometimes the problem is in the wiring. There's a lot of funky wiring going on here that I'm gonna fix. But sometimes, like if the problem is a bad connection on the wires, you wiggle it around and you see if there's a bad contact, then when you wiggle the wires around, something's gonna happen with the lights, like they're gonna flicker, turn on, and then. But since nothing's happening, that kind of leads me to believe that the problem is this thing here. Oh, here we go. See? And the same concept applies. Hear that? To the knob. So if you play around with it and it works, that means the problem is in here. I think it could also be the flasher. The sound is coming from down here. Alright, so just as I suspected, the problem was with the flasher. So I just went to a local automotive supply store, and they sold me this DNI 1109 flasher, and it's a 3-terminal type, and it's used on VW, Ford, Fiat, GM, Peugeot, Citroën, and Toyota. So pretty much 90% of the Brazilian cars. So now it works. Now, I've mentioned this before, and if you recall, I did a video on the Rambler where we had the same problem. And it's interesting, I mentioned this before, that a little problem causes a much bigger problem. So the reason this relay went bad, and I know people say, oh, it just went bad by itself. That's against the law of physics. Nothing damages itself. There has to be something, an external force, that causes that damage. So that's either rain, rust, water, humidity, that kind of thing. So what was happening is, just like in the Rambler, there was water getting into the car and it was dripping on the flasher. In the case of the Chevette here, it's the rubber that goes around the motor for the wipers. So that rubber went bad, and then it started dripping water onto the relay here, and you can see the rust marks there. And the relay went bad, and what happened was it short-circuited, so it then caused the battery to drain, and the car almost didn't start. And basically then what happens is, because of a stupid little piece of rubber, you actually have to get the car towed, or the battery recharged at least. So it's sometimes also the simple things, small details, that make a big difference. So if this relay had been put in this way, upright, then water wouldn't get inside it. It would just drip off the sides and away from the electrical relay that's inside here. So that's exactly what I did with the new one. And so yeah, now everything works. And another problem here is that in this case, I don't know if it's factory, original from the factory like this, but the flasher is connected directly to the battery. Now, and that's bad. On all of the cars and the trucks, all the vehicles that I've worked on electrically, I always try to swap out a main switch so that when you turn the key off, everything is off. There's absolutely nothing on. So you can see right here that I had to wiggle it around a little bit. Once I press the emergency lights, see, the key is completely off, like the car is off. Key's out of the ignition. So, basically what happens if you have an electrical problem, turning the key off doesn't switch it off. So there's no switch that controls this, which is obviously stupid. So, as I usually say, nothing damages itself. And whenever something goes bad, there's always a fault in design. There's a design flaw. So in this case, had they designed this motor away, see, it's right underneath where water gets in through here. Water comes all around inside the car here, which, by the way, is pretty stupid. So I'm seriously considering getting rid of this grill here, this windshield grill on all vehicles. It's pretty much useless. Just serves to let water and crap get inside the engine bay. And so right here is where the water's coming in from. So had they, whoever designed the vehicle, had they moved this motor over here, or had less of this grill here, then even if the rubber went bad here, you wouldn't have water dripping in. Or if it was put at an angle or underneath, a piece of steel, and this problem wouldn't have happened. Hope this helps. Remember to leave your like and subscribe to the channel.